everyone, this is Neeta from Buttercream Petals Cake Art School. How to store buttercream is a question that is often asked. Today we are going to cover all about buttercream and the most effective way of storing them both in the refrigerator as well as in the freezer. Let's get started. The first thing that we need to bear in mind is that the shelf life of the buttercream is determined by the ingredients that goes into it. For example, buttercream like Swiss meringue buttercream or Italian meringue buttercream, or in short, any buttercream that has eggs in it will have considerably shorter shelf life. While other buttercreams like American buttercream that has just butter and sugar in it, and some buttercreams just has vegetable shortening and sugar in it, will have prolonged shelf life. Our signature buttercream is kind of in the middle of both of this. We have butter as well as some other dairy products as well. So our shelf life is usually 3 to 5 days. Fresh buttercream tastes best, there's no argument there. But it's not always possible to make the buttercream the same day that the cake is eaten. So how can we ensure that the freshness lasts longer? Once we make the buttercream, I usually store it in airtight containers like this. This ensures that when we keep it in the refrigerator, any odor from the fridge doesn't get into the buttercream, and the buttercream will have its authentic flavoring, whether it's vanilla or any flavoring, intact. So best to invest in small containers like this that are airtight so you can keep your buttercream secure in it. So I even color my buttercream and put it in airtight containers as well. So once I make the buttercream, I usually color it according to my design preference, and I would store it in airtight containers until it's time to work on the cake. Even if you don't have plastic containers like this, what we can do is take a piping bag, put your buttercream into the piping bag, so you can store your buttercream in piping bags. Take a clip like that and secure it. So this can go in the fridge as well, and it can keep fresh for longer. If you're storing the buttercream in a freezer, it is possible to keep it fresh for up to a month. When your buttercream is in the freezer, we need to make sure that it's properly airtight, even to an extra measure, so that the condensation is minimal as well as any odors from the freezer doesn't get into our buttercream. You can use the piping bag method. You can put your buttercream in the piping bag, twist it like this so it's properly airtight, even an extra step, and then you can fold it like this. You can put it with a clip so that's secure. Now take a freezer bag and you can put your buttercream in it and tie it properly. So this will ensure that the buttercream is properly secure, absolutely no air will get into it. So this is the best way to store in a freezer. Once you store it in the freezer, you can date the buttercream to make sure that you use it within a month. And once it's out of the freezer, you can open the buttercream and let it thaw or come to room temperature, and simply mix it with a spatula and you can start using your buttercream. The shelf life of buttercream is usually 3 to 5 days. So if you make your buttercream and you store it in the freezer straight away, it is day 0 in buttercream shelf life terms. So say for example, you leave it in the freezer for 2 weeks and then you take the buttercream out, the shelf life of the buttercream ticks from then. So once you take it out of the freezer, the buttercream is good for 3 to 5 days. It is always best to make sure that you allow some time for your customers to enjoy the cake as well. So always keep that in mind when you decorate and plan delivery of the cake. I would usually recommend that once the customer picks up the cake, they have at least 3 days to enjoy our buttercream cake. Now the last area that we are going to discuss is what to do with unused buttercream or leftover buttercream. Don't throw away your leftover buttercream because it is practice buttercream. It is always nice that you have a batch of practice buttercream in your fridge all the time. If you're a cake artist like me who loves to experiment with new design, who loves to try new techniques, it is always not necessary to make a fresh batch of buttercream to practice. So what I usually do is all the leftover buttercream, I put it in piping bag like I've shown you in all different colors. And once I see a new technique or a new skill that I want to learn, or simply to practice some flower piping or palette knife painting, I would take these leftover buttercream from the fridge and I would start painting and practicing in it. These buttercreams stay in the fridge for up to 6 months or until it start to really go bad. But you shouldn't consume it. This is practice buttercream as the name suggests. Hope you've enjoyed this video on how to store buttercream. If you like this video, do like and share as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, just email me neeta@buttercreampetals.com. If you would like to learn our signature buttercream recipe and a host of buttercream techniques, do check out our website www.buttercreampetals.com. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.